Fire Girl here. I'm going to do a dramatic reading of a short story I recently wrote entitled She Flees. In and out of this mortal life she flees, running away from something and to a new life. This time is relative, as the hunter follows closely behind. She flees on feet bleeding with infamous red, cut from footsteps on broken glass. She runs until her lungs feel as if they'll burst from excess. Her heart pounds a militant beat. Better to run than to be caught by the very monster she created. As she runs away from one, another comes closer. The hope of redemption ahead, the quickening pace of the torturous pain beast behind. Her mind is on shuffle, going from one to another. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the monster she runs from dissipates into thin air, replaced by a bright shining sun. Initially, the sun was welcomed on her heels. She slowed to a walk through the garbage dump of life, stopping only to ponder the cesspool of humanity. After a few moments, frozen in time, the shining sun behind her began to burn. Red skin suffered by burning pain of the sun, replaced by charring flesh. Suddenly her eyes opened, and she ran across the broken bits of life to escape what was so recently her friend. All good things must come to an end, and the end of the bright shining sun was being burnt. Much the same as Icarus, flying too close to the sun, her wings melted and became charcoal behind her. Now, broken, bleeding, and burnt, she searched for the elixir of life to restore her former glory. She heard tale of such a potion being in the Cave of Fears. She trembled at the thought, yet the fear of being chased by the monster or the burning sun was just too much. She trekked to the Cave of Fears through the gleaming rivers and the dusty ground filled with pitfalls and boulders to be overcome. As the mouth of the cave beckoned to her, she feared entry. She feared what others might say if they saw her endeavoring for the elixir. They called her names, like crazy and worthless, because only the worst wretches entered the Cave of Fears. And she looked at her body, beaten, broken, bleeding, and burnt, and she realized that she was exactly where she needed to be. Inside the cave, she found what she desired. She returned to the world above, no longer afraid of what anyone said, for she had found the sacred elixir. No longer did the monster chase, nor the sun burn. She was free to live her life, colorful and twisted as it may be, without the fear. And should the monster return to chase, or the sun to char, she knew she could return to the cave, free of fears, and get a new elixir.